Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third episode in the mysterious death of Madame Marcardi. I'm your host for these episodes. My name is Fendleton, the former butler to the amateur sleuth, Mr. Frederick Worthington III, or as I fondly used to call him, Mr. W. Through the course of this week, and culminating on Saturday night at 7:30, we're showing episodes that each night you'll get additional pieces of clues and evidence and see scenes that will help you solve yourself this mystery. And because Chapel Street likes to keep things current, we found out last night that some of you who are watching have had difficulty posting comments in either Facebook or YouTube. So we have a new exciting option for you. Just give me a moment to change it. You see an email address below. So if you're having difficulty posting comments on Facebook or YouTube, you can now send us an email and ask questions, and we will try to get back to you in a 24-hour period. So you can write to us or me, Fendleton, to help you solve the mystery at clues@chapelstreetplayers.org. And I will flash that up again a few times this evening, so you have a chance to write it down or commit it to memory. One of the questions that came in outside of the comments was a really good question by a viewer named Lisa. Last night, Lisa wanted to know, did it make a difference if the clues found at the murder site were either on the floor or in Madame Marcardi's bag? And that is an excellent question. Tonight, it's a good lead-in. Tonight, you will see Madame Marcardi do the readings of the characters that you've been introduced to thus far. As part of her reading, she collects a personal item and she puts it in her bag. We'll return to the scene of the crime, if time allows tonight, so you can once again have a look at what was in the bag versus what was found on the floor at the murder scene. But meanwhile, without further ado, we should check out the continuation of the entertainment of Madame Marcardi as she reads the fortunes of the gathered guests. Enjoy.
Now, in order for me to foretell your future, I will need a personal item from you. Something I can hold in my hand to make a strong connection. So, who is bold enough to begin?
Yeah. Well, I suppose I should be the first to get things started.
Capital idea, Frederick.
Will my comb do? I promise I haven't used it all day.
What does it need to be a psychic to see that?
Please, Admiral Nesbeth. I need everyone to remain silent, or perhaps you are a non-believer.
My old friend will remain silent.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I see a good year coming for you, Mr. Worthington III. You have made wise choices that will benefit you in the future.
That's it. That was cryptic enough to be pointless.
Yes, quiet, please.
This you're purchasing. Wait, what is it? Yes. Physical technology next week will lead to fortune.
Only my accountant knows about that.
And your daughter will graduate magna cum laude.
That would be obvious for anyone who knows of her.
I hope you are pleased with your fortune, Mr. Worthington III.
Of course I am. Thank you, Madame Marcardi. But do I get my comb back?
Oh, all in good time. I shall keep it safe for now until my visit is over. Other signs may become apparent.
I don't doubt it.
Perhaps you would care to take a turn, Countess Armand? I know your husband was fond of the supernatural. Hmm?
No one has to participate.
Hmm.
I am curious now, Frederick. Here is my ring, a present from my departed husband.
Hmm. Yes, I do not commune with the dead, but I am happy to foretell your future. Hmm. Hmm.
So, in her trance-like state, Madame Marcardi proceeded to tell the future of the Countess, who was unimpressed. The Countess was even more unimpressed when, just like Mr. W.'s comb, the Madam did not return the ring to the Countess. Instead, she put the ring, like the comb, in her bag, promising that they would get the items back at the end of the night after Madame Marcardi would do yet another reading for dessert. Of course, we all know that never occurred. So next up was the Admiral. He too, like the Countess, was unimpressed. The Admiral's personal item was a box of matches that he used to light his pipe. The Madam told the Admiral that he would find new romance on the high seas. Again, the Admiral was unimpressed. Next up was the Senator. Let's have a look.
Here is my pen, Madame Marcardi, and I will be needing it back.
Indeed. Senator Prant, you will continue to have a long career in the Senate. But wait, there's a dark cloud that looms. However, a chance to avoid danger will present itself, and you will succeed if you choose to follow it.
Oh, I assure you, I'll do anything to succeed.
Yes. And you will be able to ski in the coming season, and you will top your last downhill record.
A politician and an athlete.
Only the slopes and the occasional rock climbing.
No wonder you're so supportive of environmental protections.
Anything else? I'm always generous for any help I can receive.
It is clear to me that, yes, you will make the right choice, and all will be well. So, who is next?
I guess that just leaves me.
Again, no one is forced to participate.
Oh no, this is quite fun. As I told the senator, I played a psychic once.
Really? I will have to see that film.
Will a picture suffice, Madame Marcardi? I carry it with me everywhere.
Oh, yes, of course.
But, Madame Marcardi, are you all right?
Take it back.
I'm sorry. I thought.
No, please forgive me. I'm suddenly getting a strong sense of...
Can we get you something? Fendleton?
No. I just need to be alone for a while. I need to focus. My tarot cards are calling. They're reaching out. I require privacy removed from distraction.
Of course. Fendleton, please escort Madame Marcardi upstairs to what was my mother's sewing room.
So, being the dutiful butler that I was at the time, of course, I escorted Madame Marcardi up to the old sewing room, which had been converted into yet another guest room, many guest rooms on the upper level of Mr. W.'s rather large estate. The madam took out her tarot cards, plopped down her bag next to her, and started spreading them out on the table. She seemed very distressed. I returned to the parlor, and by now the storm was fully raging, so I decided to light a fire. As I lit the fire, I was nearby to Mr. W. and the Countess, who were having a private conversation. Oh, and by the way, some comments have come in. I will be reviewing them and answering them as best I can at the end of the show. Now for that private conversation between Countess Francesca Armand and Mr. Frederick Worthington III.
Thank you, Fendleton. The fire will do nicely.
I have to speak my mind, Frederick, and express my concern of bringing that woman into your home.
I regret it if it has brought you this much concern, and I apologize. I thought it would be lighthearted fun.
You thought incorrectly, as you can see.
Is there something you're not sharing with me, Francesca?
It's not the right time or place. But can you assure me that the madam will not be staying the night?
No, she will not be. You and the Admiral are my only guests spending the night.
That is reassuring. The less time with Madame Marcardi around, the better.
Oh, here's Jenny.
So Jenny walked into the parlor to announce that dinner would be served shortly, as scheduled at 6:30. Everybody raved to Jenny about her hors d'oeuvres. It was Jenny this and Jenny that, and everybody was just applauding her. Frankly, I think that Eleanor, the regular cook, her food is much better than Jenny's for sure. But that's just my personal opinion. So I took the guests to the dining room, but Mr. W stayed behind to have a chat with Jenny. So let's take a look at that.
Jenny, Madame Marcardi is upstairs in the old sewing room. It's just to the right.
Yes. Fendleton showed me earlier. Countess Armand is staying in the adjoining bedroom.
Yes. Can you take Madame Marcardi some tea and see if she wants her dinner alone there?
But
Oops, technical difficulty. Hold on just a second and we'll get back to that scene. I apologize. Once again, I'm a major domo, not Major Tom, the ground control. We'll start the scene again.
Jenny, Madame Marcardi is upstairs in the old sewing room. It's just to the right.
yes. Fendleton showed me earlier. Countess Armand is staying in the adjoining bedroom.
Yes. Can you take Madame Marcardi some tea and see if she wants her dinner alone there?
But I have to serve.
Fendleton can manage. I'm worried about Madame Marcardi. I may not be psychic, but I am getting a sudden feeling of evil tonight.
It's the storm, sir. Nothing more, I'm sure.
Thank you, Jenny.
So finally, after sending Jenny to see the madam, Mr. W sat down at the dining table, and I started to serve the first course. And then Jenny returned to let us know that the madam wanted to be left alone and not have dinner, but she did want some tea. So as Jenny continued to serve the first course of dinner, I went upstairs to the old sewing room, and I brought Madame Marcardi her tea. By this point, she was alive and well, and she was looking over her tarot cards on the table. I set the tea down on the table. I asked her if she wanted anything else, but she dismissed me rather promptly. And then I returned downstairs. So many comments have been coming in, and we're going to take a look at those, hence my technical glitch a little earlier. So first up, Raptor Velo, what a fun name, Raptor. Why didn't Jenny know the nickname of her mentor? Is she Madame Marcardi's daughter? Well, others have also noticed in prior episodes that Jenny didn't seem to know that Eleanor, the regular cook and her mentor, that her nickname that people called her by was Nori. I'm not sure why she didn't know that. You'd think she'd know that if she was the mentee of the great cook Eleanor, but she didn't, and I don't know why. Is she Madame Marcardi's daughter? I think Jenny might be a little older than she looks and might be too old to be the Madame's daughter, but I'll tell you this, to be fair, no. Jenny is not Madame Marcardi's daughter. Let's see what else has come in. Raptor Vito says, wait, is Alexis the actress Madame Marcardi's daughter? That's an interesting question. And at this point, Fendleton can neither affirm or deny that. Rick King writes, were the matches and ring not found with Madame Marcardi? Very astute observations. Again, we're going to have a look at the murder scene and the contents of the bag and what my boss, Mr. W, had to say about them. So you'll just need to hold on for a bit. Rachel Cole says, I agree with Raptor Velo. I think the photo is Madame Marcardi and the actress as a baby. Oh, so the photo that the actress handed the madam for the personal item. And maybe the admiral is her father. Wow. This is getting like a soap opera rather than a mystery. So, well, you're not really asking a question except maybe, maybe the whole thing is a question. I think the photo is Madame Marcardi and the actress as a baby. That is, again, something I can neither affirm or deny, and you'll have to wait and see as the puzzle comes together. And maybe the admiral is her father. But we do know from a prior episode that there is a history or was something between the admiral and the madam years ago. So that could be a possibility that if the madam had a daughter, that indeed it might have been the admiral's. Let's take a look back at the scene of the crime and see whether or not what was in the bag, not in the bag, on the floor, or not on the floor.
So, my friend, you're the medical expert. What is your opinion?
Was a medical expert for 10 years.
Come on, it's like riding a bike.
I haven't done that in decades either. But it appears she was stabbed in the back with the knife you see on the floor.
Indeed.
The wound is deep. Maybe a strong arm. From an angle, I would say the killer is right-handed. From the point of entry, I suspect it punctured her lung, and it was a rather agonizing demise. I believe she was at the table, reading her tarot cards, stabbed from behind, and then fell to the floor. Wait a moment. She's not wearing her black cloak.
I think you'll be entering the Tour de France very soon. Your expertise has not waned.
France, please. And you, while I examined the body, I couldn't help but notice that you were up to your usual sleuthing skills.
Oh, yes. And there is quite a lot to take in. One, the madam's broken watch, smashed as she hit the floor, I suspect, registering the time of death at 8:05 p.m. Or was it? Two, the letter W written in blood on a tarot card and blood on her right index finger. Three, a photo of a mother and an infant that appears to have been slipped under the door. An inscription on the back reads, "To my dearest Gina, I am so sorry. Love your mother, Regina."
Didn't the actress, Alexis, had a similar-sized photo to Madame Marcardi when she was doing her readings?
Yes, but there is one more thing I discovered. 4. A used pipe cleaner on the floor near the body.
A pipe cleaner?
Yes, my friend. But as I am fond of quoting from one of my favorite mystery movies, there are too many clues in this room. I think the most vital information might be in the madam's rather large bag that she kept closely to her all evening. Let's examine the contents.
So, what are those contents of the bag? Let's have a refresher. There was the box to Madame Marcardi from a Thomas T. Bivens, an interesting gray cap that was found in the box, the envelope from Mr. Bivens to Madame Marcardi that had a cover sheet of the names of the guests that were at the party. There was a pen found in the bag and a comb found in the bag. There was also personal items, makeup kit, keys, but in terms of items that have to do with solving the mystery, I just showed them to you. Now let's take a look at what my boss had to say about the contents of the bag.
Do you think the contents of the bag reveal anything?
Not clearly, but it is what is not in the bag that intrigues me most. And this W on the tarot card.
Well, perhaps the W was actually an M, and the card shifted when Madame Marcardi fell.
M as in what? Marcardi? And she killed herself when it's physically impossible? No. It was a clumsy attempt to frame the murder on yours truly.
As if you had anything to do with killing her. Well, then again, she was not very entertaining for your night's entertainment.
The framing attempt was pointless, as I never left the dining room tonight except to attend to Jenny's accident, and Madame Marcardi was seen after that. I never left again until Fendleton alerted us to come up here.
Of course.
And the pipe cleaner? You're the only one here who smokes a pipe.
I was never in this room. Perhaps some stranger broke into the house to steal something, and Regina caught him, or her, in the act.
Regina?
Oh, I mean, Madame Marcardi.
Relax, my dear friend. No, it definitely was not an intruder.
Well, what makes you so certain?
The murder weapon, the knife. I recognized it at once. It's one half of an ornate carving set located in the serving pantry just off the dining room. So you see.
No, I don't see. Frankly, I'm more concerned about the pipe cleaner.
The odds of an intruder carrying an antique ornate carving knife with them to commit a robbery are as slim as you actually being responsible for coming into this room, smoking a pipe, killing the madam, and discarding a pipe cleaner on the floor. No, my friend, this knife proves that the murderer is here in this house right now and is one of us.
Well, you can't see me because I need to fix something. I apologize once again. Ah, that's much better. Better to see my face than Mr. W's old comb. So let's take a look at the comments that have come in, perhaps after we've seen those last few scenes. I don't see any comments. If you're having trouble making comments, once again, check out the bottom of the screen. You can send an email to yours truly, Fendleton the Butler, at clues chapelstreetplayers.org. I'll give a few more moments to see if there's any more questions or through the comment section. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulty. Oh, okay, we have a comment. Thank you, Rick King. Who is Thomas T. Bivens? Well, that is a good question. And one I'm afraid I cannot answer tonight. What I will tell you is that he is a professional of sorts. And that's as much as I can tell you. You'll have to tune in to tomorrow night's episode where we'll be sitting down at dinner. And it's very important what happens at dinner, who comes and goes. That's a hint. Another question. Raptor Velo, what kind of accident did Jenny have? Well, what a perfect lead-in, as I was saying, to tomorrow night's episode. The accident that Jenny had occurred while she was serving dinner. And you'll see that scene tomorrow night. Same CSP time, same CSP Facebook and YouTube social media. So do join us tomorrow night for all that transpired during dinner, including the mysterious death of Madame Marcardi. Stay tuned for a special announcement from Chapel Street Players and the cast list. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Isn't it great to see the Chapel Street Players back in action? We're excited to be keeping the arts alive, albeit virtually, with this latest theatrical performance. I just love seeing good theater, even if, for now, it is in the comfort and safety of my living room. I'm Dr. Renee G. O'Leary, and I've been involved with Chapel Street Players for, well, let's just say a long time. There's always a first for everything, and 2020 is no exception. Like you, I would love to be back in our little playhouse on Chapel Street, and we look forward to when we can reopen. As always, we couldn't provide live theater on stage or screen without the generous support of the community, or in this case, viewers like you. Our virtual entertainment this fall is being brought to you free. However, we greatly appreciate any contributions you are able to make to help keep Chapel Street Players and the arts alive during these turbulent times. As Chapel Street Players, this is an all-volunteer, nonprofit organization. Donations are tax-deductible in accordance with state and federal laws. Finally, on behalf of Chapel Street's board, volunteers, and patrons, I thank you and wish you all the very best.